podcast, Daniel.
Lucy here.
And we're about to check out the movie that you guys chose in our latest court movie poll, let's say.
Yeah, and if you don't know what you're talking about, if you join our Patreon for free, you will be able to vote on the next movies we will watch next.
So this one, there was a tie with another movie, but we chose this one, and the other movie, which is Time to Kill, will come quite shortly.
Eventually, yeah.
Yes. This one is Witness for the Prosecution. I'm quite interested because we've been discovering, besides a lot of courtroom dramas, also a lot of movies from that era, 40s, 50s.
And we have been having a lot of good surprises, right? Especially from requests from our patrons as well, which again, the link is below, you can check it out. But we have very nice surprises, yeah.
Yeah, and again, from that era, it's nice because it's mostly movies that I haven't watched, because usually it's a lot of movies that I've watched that I'm showing her. In this case, it's like
it's a surprise for both.
We can both just enjoy it for the first time.
Yeah.
So I have no information about this one. I just know it's a courtroom drama from 1957, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know much about the movie either. I've heard about the name because again, this is one of my favorite genres, as you guys know. Eventually, it will come the verdict because we have already on our Patreon that was a special request, but it will come for YouTube eventually as well. So as you guys can see, we do have a lot of love for this kind of movies, so I am very, very excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. So shall we go?
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. You can see the full-length commentary, get access to polls, to what we will see next, and more on our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thank you! This classic setting of like huge courtroom.
Yeah, with people watching, I love it.
Yep. This is in England, I think.
God save the Queen.
Yes, clearly England. Or sorry, the UK at least.
But still, the formality of the judges and stuff. Oh, this is from Agatha
Christie. I had no idea.
So this is not like based on true things, a true story, is it?
It's based on a book of Agatha Christie. Okay. Guys, I had no idea. She's an author that I read a lot when I was younger. We know Poirot and all of that stuff, but I had no idea it was based on a book from her. Billy Wilder is also a name that I recognize. I don't know the person, but I do recognize the name.
What a beautiful day. I've been hoping we'd have a bit of sun for our homecoming. I always say it's worth having all the fog just...
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shall I roll up the window?
Just roll up your mouth. You talk too much.
You see?
She's a nurse?
I think so, because of the hat.
So be careful.
It is a bit mean, anyways.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, such a beautiful place.
Must be perfectly lovely to live and work in the Inns of Court. How lucky you
Live.
lawyers are.
Oh, he just came out of a coma and is a lawyer. Ugh.
Here he comes.
A party or so?
He's like, ugh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
It's just...
Thank you very much. Everybody back to work.
Sir Wilfrid, if you don't mind, I would like to read you a little poem we've composed to welcome you back.
I do mind.
I'm just happy that you're your old self again.
Any more sentimentality around here, I shall instantly go back to the hospital.
Not very likely they won't take him back. He wasn't really He was expelled for conduct unbecoming a cardiac patient.
Put these...
She's like so proud, you know, he wasn't...
Yeah.
If anything happened to you, what would happen to me? After 30...
Yeah, that was for me.
37 years. Been all that long.
Yes, sir. That was in October 1915.
Ooh,
Damn.
The chemist accused of putting cyanide in his uncle's tooth.
that seems an interesting case, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to read about it.
Yeah,
First time I rose to make an objection, my wig fell off.
it's interesting.
Yeah, because they have
They are
wigs.
the wigs, yeah.
God, it's so different. Yeah.
Divorce case, a tax appeal, and an important marine insurance claim. They're nice, smooth matters with excellent fees.
No comment.
Excellent
I'm
fees.
sorry, sir, but you're not to undertake any criminal cases. Not anymore.
Same
Yeah.
shit now. Same shit.
Think of your heart.
Crime is always more exciting.
Yeah, he's like...
We'd better go upstairs now. Get undressed and lie down.
We? What a nauseating prospect.
Upstairs, please.
While on my sickbed, I seriously considered strangling you with one of your own rubber tubes.
She's not the little bit worried. She already knows him.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be so cool, the relationship they're gonna have together.
I hereby enter a plea of justifiable homicide.
Justifiable. I think you can sympathize.
Come along now, like a good boy.
She continues.
Goodbye.
Cigars, what cigars?
The ones you're
You want to
smuggling
have
in your canes.
Sorry.
Smuggling cigars.
Oh.
In hospital, he'd hide cigars and brandy all over the place. We called him Wilfred the Fox. Upstairs.
She's very good with them.
Puffs after meals, please.
Oh, he's like, please.
But he said please.
Oh, no, sir. You mustn't walk out. We've installed something for you here.
They had that back then.
Out of there. I'll try it. It's my
It's like it's a new technology back then, but even nowadays it's not that usual to find this.
No.
Daisy.
Once more to get the feel of the controls.
It's like a little kid.
I mean, he has to have fun in something.
Yeah.
He's gonna go again. I bet he's gonna go again.
Yeah, it's like
So Wilfred has all that he can handle.
I'm sure he'll want this brief. Serious criminal matter.
it's criminal, so he cannot accept.
Possibly
And the
accepting
guy's
anything
just
of
arriving
stimulating
here.
nature.
You were saying.
How do you do, Mr. Vole?
Well, according to Mr. Mayhew, I'm not doing it all.
He doesn't seem very worried, to be honest.
You're dawdling again.
Oh, shut up.
Just say what the matter is.
Well, I wish you could help us, Wilfred, but
Cigars.
Oh, cigar. Well, now that I think about it.
Don't worry, Carton. We won't take the brief. But Mr. Mayhew's an old friend and he needs help. Shall I give him a word of advice?
Seems silly to me, but Mr. Mayhew thinks it's very urgent. He thinks I may
He
be arrested
thinks.
at any minute
He thinks I could be arrested.
for murder.
He's not worried at all, though.
when the housekeeper returned from her day off, she found her mistress dead, struck on the back of the head and killed.
I see.
Vole seems a harmless chap caught in a web of circumstantial evidence. Perhaps if I were to give you some more of the details, you might suggest the strongest line of defense.
Probably think better if you gave me one of those cigars.
Yeah, that guy's just interested in the cigar.
Come here, please.
Listen, Wilfred.
You're not in bed yet. Upstairs.
Okay, we're safe for the moment.
I do have a lighter.
You're quite right, Mayhew. I do like it. Splendid. All the instincts
I like
of
the
a skilled
guy.
criminal.
You have all the instincts of a good criminal.
And he was pleased with that compliment, I think.
I don't know. I still don't understand the guy.
Christine, that's my wife. She thought I may be implicated and that I needed a lawyer. That's why I went to see Mr. Mayhew. I saw in the paper that poor Mrs. French had been found dead with her head bashed in. Well, naturally, I went along to the police station.
Of course.
They caution you?
They asked me if I'd like to make a statement and said that they'd write it down and that it might be used against me in court. Would that be cautioning me?
Yes.
He thinks that he made a statement and that's the end of it. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Vole, that you will be regarded as the
tricking.
principal and logical
Of course.
suspect in this case?
It's like, what? Really?
You don't get arrested or convicted for something you haven't done.
Oh yeah, of course. Keep believing that.
I'm putting you in the hands of the finest and most experienced barrister in London.
If he
Now,
accepts.
Mayhew, let's get this straight. I may have done something highly unethical. I've taken your cigar. I'm not taking your case. My doctors would never allow it. I'm truly sorry, young man. I'd recommend Mr. Brokenmore. Well, you know Brokenmore.
Yes, I do. A very able man.
Sir Wilfred, I have never known such insubordination. No, not even when I was a nurse in the front lines during the war.
What war was that? The Crimean War? No doubt.
That's one that was like
Many
century
years.
before.
Yeah.
This morning I had no lawyers at all, and now suddenly I have 3 lawyers. Well, perhaps we should explain to Sir Wilfred that I have very little money.
Oh, that might be important.
I haven't had a job in 4 months.
What sort of work do you do?
Still, he keeps giving
Yeah,
information.
And that's a very good way for us to get information as well. Why did
So
you
he was a mechanic.
I worked in a department store in toys, demonstrating children's building sets. Of course, that lasted only during the Christmas rush. And before that, I had a job testing electric blankets.
So he does a lot of mixed stuff. Yeah.
Nothing that is like something permanent, you know?
I was stationed in Germany. It was fine there, though. That's where I met Christine, my wife. She was an actress, and a good one. She's a wonderful wife to me, too.
That's why I had a mistress.
But who was his mistresses?
I think that's the woman that died. That's what I understood.
But my best is really this egg beater. You see, it not only beats the egg, but it also separates the yolk from the white. The only trouble is that I need money for manufacturing and promotion. I was really hoping that that's what Mrs. French might do for me after I met her.
Exactly how did you meet
Okay,
this?
that was Mrs. French. Was because of business.
It was the 3rd of September. I remember distinctly because it's my wife's birthday. I was window shopping in Oxford Street, just sort of daydreaming about what I'd buy for her.
Oh, but that's so cute though.
To dream what I would buy if I had money. Like, no, you shouldn't.
Oh, that's way more elegant. That's fancy. Yeah.
You really like this one?
Oh, very much.
You don't think it's too mad?
Why shouldn't you attract some attention?
Oh, you really think so?
Absolutely.
Oh.
You buy that hat. I insist. Actually, it was a ridiculous sort of hat.
Yeah, of course it was ridiculous.
I'm constantly surprised that women's hats do not provoke more murders.
I can say that's untrue.
I was peddling my egg beaters that afternoon, and business was a little slow.
She went to the movie theater.
Yep.
And they didn't allow the man to see anything.
Oh, it's you.
It's your fault, you know. You chose it yourself.
Oh. At least like that, you're not in front of me.
That chap on the white horse is called Jesse James.
Oh, I know the story of Jesse James. Yeah,
Never heard
was
of.
a very known criminal.
Oh, I get so restless at home, so I go out, and then I find a really no place to go, so I go to the movies.
Why not?
At this time, you had no idea that Mrs. French was well off.
We were sitting in the cheap seats. All I knew was that she seemed to be very lonely, had no friends whatsoever. She invited me to her house for tea.
Yeah, it's amazing because he's messing everything around. Oh, the guy ain't doing nothing with that. That's just making a mess.
We'll use it constantly, won't we, Janet?
No, I think she doesn't want to use it.
Ah.
Of course.
Bitchy.
Now, this is a charming room.
Hubert and I collected all these things when we lived in Africa.
Oh, again,
A lot
because
of
she was
things,
from
yeah.
Nigeria. It looks a bit like a museum.
If you care for an eggnog, there happens to be a wasted egg in the kitchen already and separated.
Do sit down. Don't mind Janet, Mr. Vole. It's just that she's terribly...
Reminds me of Sprat from Downton Abbey.
After that, I used to see her once or twice a week. It's so weird to think of her now lying in that living room, murdered.
Suppose you tell Sir Wilfrid about the evening of the murder.
Well, I went around to see her about 8 o'clock that evening. She fixed me a sandwich, we talked a bit, listened to the Mikado.
Yeah, he's the main suspect, I get it.
How much money did you get from her?
From whom?
From Mrs. French.
Well, nothing, not a quid.
The truth, how much?
Well, why should she give me any money?
Because she was in love with you.
But I love the lawyer.
Exactly. But that's the problem, you know. People don't believe that lawyers need to know everything, but they do need to know everything, you know.
Mrs. French was under the impression Christine and I didn't get along too well.
Huh.
Why would it
Why
be?
would that be?
That way.
She never corrected that impression. Why?
Well, I was afraid she'd lose interest in me.
Because she...
Yeah, of course.
Suppose so?
And you were after her.
So,
money.
Well, yes, in a way. An honest business proposition, that's all it would have been.
What is it?
That's so wicked.
You knew it was the housekeeper's day off.
Well, yes, I did.
You went
why did you go there?
Because I thought she might be lonely.
all right, lonely.
He asked to take all the things that the other side would take. Yeah.
Of course.
I didn't do it. No matter how bad things look, I didn't do it. You must believe me. You do believe me, don't you?
I do now, but I wasn't sure. As for things looking bad, they don't look bad, Mr. Vole. They look terrible.
Well, yeah.
How did you go home? By bus or underground?
No, I walked. It was a fine night. Anyone
How can they prove?
home? It was 9:26 exactly.
Yeah.
I know.
You have your wife that can testify for you, I guess.
But the testimony of a devoted wife does not carry much weight.
Of course.
Exactly.
People
Same
might think Christine
today.
would tell a lie on my account.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
Obviously.
Ah, Brogan Moore, come in, come
The other, yeah.
in. Mr. Leonard Vole.
How do you do?
How do you do?
The Emily French murder.
Ah, how do you do?
That,
Now he's interested.
Oh, way more interesting.
your line of defense, however, will be lack of motive. That leaves us with a murder for profit. Now then, if Mr. Vole had been sponging on Mrs. French, why kill her and cut off the source of supply? No motive whatsoever. You find some flaw in this line of reasoning?
What is it?
No, it's very sound as far as it goes.
He's already informed me we'll have to sue him for our fees.
Oh, we'll simply put a lien on Mr. Vole's £80,000.
80,000?
The £80,000 Mrs. French left you.
Left me.
They opened Mrs. French's bank vault today and found her will.
There's the motive.
There's the motive.
He's like, shit.
I must call Christine.
You
should
idiot.
do no such thing.
He's not very bright.
You think? Oh, you didn't realize that?
This inheritance doesn't make things look any better for me, though, does it?
Oh, Sherlock!
Good
We have
morning.
a Sherlock here. Hi.
£50,000 makes for a very handsome motive.
It's a lot of money, especially back then. Here they
Well,
are.
speaking of,
I had no idea that Mrs. French had any intention of leaving me her money.
This is dangerous Leonard Vole. You'd better search him. He may be armed with an egg beater.
I have here a warrant for your arrest on the charge of murdering Emily French on October the 14th.
Somebody better call my wife and tell her where they're taking me.
I will, don't worry.
Well, there's one thing I've learned for sure. Never look in a window where there are women's hats.
yeah, I mean, if that's what you take from all of that,
It's really not worried. It's like
This is sticky, you know.
Of course it is. The prosecution will blast him with their heaviest artillery.
as they should, and they have no alibi.
If you're not in bed in 1 minute, she will resign.
Splendid. Give
Oh,
her a month's
please.
pay and kick her down the stairs.
exactly perfect.
Herself, or I too shall resign.
This is blackmail. You're quite
Yes.
right, Carter. For my first day, this has already been rather hectic. I should be in bed.
You didn't saw anything, okay?
No one saw.
Waiting like a hangman on the scaffold. Take me. I'm yours.
I
But he liked
surrender.
the elevator.
But Mrs. Vole, bear in mind she's a foreigner, so be prepared for hysterics and even a fainting spell.
I do not think that will be necessary,
Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's German. That's why it's not
Yeah.
necessary.
because I'm not sure that I will fall gracefully, and I never use smelling
Oh,
salts.
she was in the judgment at Nuremberg. She was
Yeah.
the lady there as well.
And I guess the nap will stay
Mm-hmm.
for enough time.
She's gonna kill him, the nurse.
I'm quite disciplined.
Always.
Leonard has been arrested and charged with murder. I knew he would be. I told him so.
Yeah, she was the one that told him to come
Yes.
see lawyers.
I mean, someone needs to be logical since the other guy is just a mess.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayhew described you as the champion of the hopeless cause. Is it perhaps that this cause is too hopeless?
No cause is too hopeless.
Sorry, but I'm a prisoner of.
Very serious talk with Dr. Harrison. It was a mistake to let you come back here.
I think he's gonna go down.
She must be German. I suppose that's what happens when we let our boys cross the channel. They go.
That's what I thought. The guy will not resist.
Right. Hop in.
Oops. Oops.
And he used the thing.
Yes, of course I knew that Leonard had been seeing Mrs. French quite frequently.
Excuse me.
Go on.
Oh, Leonard can be very endearing. He hates me.
True. Yeah, because he's very charming and easygoing.
Of course, your husband had no previous knowledge of this bequest.
Is that what he told you?
Well, surely, Mrs. Vole, you're not suggesting anything different.
I do not suggest anything.
I will keep my mouth shut.
You think Mrs. French looked upon Leonard as a son or a nephew? What hypocrites you are in this country.
Yeah, they wanted to be pleasant, but I don't think she's really in for that.
He's doing the same.
Let us then at least make sure that the two are not in conflict.
Either you both say the same or...
You want to help your husband.
Of course I want to help Leonard. I want to help Mr. Brogan Moore, and I want to help you, Sir Wilfred. There.
There.
Isn't that more comfortable for you?
You're aware, of course, that when I put you in the witness box, you will be sworn and you will testify under oath.
Yes. Leonard came home at 9:26 precisely and did not...
9:26. It's like, I can't believe you.
Yeah, it's like she's way too, like, German, you know? Like, I have no other name for her.
Did you know that under British law you cannot be called to give testimony damaging to your husband?
Oh, okay.
It's the same here. I mean, here you can choose.
Yeah,
The
basically.
woman can choose if they want to testify against the husband and the other way
It's
around.
just that it's understandable if it
They
doesn't,
can be
if she
excused,
doesn't want
yeah.
to testify, or if he doesn't want to. Yeah.
But I had a husband living at the time somewhere in East Germany in the Russian zone.
Did you tell Leonard?
I did not. He would not have married me, and I would have been left behind.
Practical woman. I like it.
Your husband loves you very much, does he not?
He worships the ground I walk on.
And you.
The other way around. The guy is an asshole and is stupid.
Your visit has been most reassuring.
I will give him an alibi, and I shall be very convincing. There will be tears in my eyes when I say, Leonard came home at 9:26 precisely.
I want to see her in the courtroom saying that.
I know.
And you're satisfied, I hope?
I love the woman. Sorry, but...
Woman's up to something, but what?
The prosecutor.
He's so interested.
Of course. I wouldn't be surprised if she was the one killing her to
I
get
don't
the...
know, yeah.
I can no longer.
Give
me a match, Miss Grimshaw.
Sir Wilfred!
Did you hear me? A match?
Oh, she's obeying him. So cool. Sometimes it's even better for you not to care if the person is guilty or not, because it will create a sort of pre-mindset, let's say, and it can be in the middle. It can stay in the middle of a good defense.
Mr. Mayhew tells me that you are going to represent me. I'm very grateful.
I struck a bargain with my doctors. I let them exile me to Bermuda as soon as we finish, okay?
Ooh, well done.
Why hasn't she come to see me? Won't they let her see me? I mean, it's been 2 weeks now.
2 weeks?
I want to read you a portion of the evidence of Janet Mackenzie, the housekeeper.
I'm curious.
There's also a hint you may have helped her draft her new will.
Well, that's not true.
What about this cut in your wrist? You told the police you'd cut yourself with a knife.
Well, that's true. I did. I was cutting bread and the knife slipped. But that was 2 days after the murder. Christine was there. She'll tell them when she gives evidence.
Yeah, Christine can say everything.
Anything, yeah.
How did you meet your wife, Mr. Froh?
Yeah, I'm interested as well.
In Germany in 1945.
Oh, 45. Huh.
Yeah, it was the end of the war.
Yeah. Oh, and we're gonna see it. So cool.
Come on, join the party.
Christine, so she was there singing.
Yeah. He said she was an actress and a good one.
True. He also said that the ceiling fell on him, right?
Mm-hmm. When she was playing.
Dim the lights and start locking the door.
It's weird to see her as an entertainer. She seemed such a
Yeah,
strict
so
person.
strict. Yeah.
I may never go home. I may never go home. I may never go home anymore.
That was so cool.
Hey, Pauline, show us some legs.
Oh, God.
You want legs? Whoa.
You should go to protect her.
Guys just jump.
Flying around. I mean, you cannot even see the woman anymore.
Gesundheit.
That was very sad what they did to her.
You better get out of here. We've had trouble enough.
Well, actually, it's your own fault. That costume in the picture outside gave the boys ideas, and then those trousers of yours let them down hard. Cigarette, gum?
What are you doing?
You're burning my nose.
That's it. That's her house. Right there. Like an old basement,
Industrial, yeah.
boiler room.
You better make yourself comfortable.
It looks nice though.
No, not that chair. It holds up the beam and that holds up half the ceiling. You better sit down on the cot.
Are you married?
Why?
Well,
We know now that she was.
She was, yeah.
Where's the coffee?
Coffee, jawohl.
That was fast. Another coffee, another kiss.
Would you be interested in having the whole tin?
What's the... There it goes.
She's quite beautiful, honestly.
How you fixed for sugar?
I could use some.
But it's interesting to think that in real life, it was a time where... Yeah, no, most people had to do a lot of things to get all that stuff.
I may never go home anymore.
Oh. Well, I think that pays the...
Yeah, you're breaking up my home.
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so. My head aches a little.
Maybe I can fix it. I'm good at it.
Ooh. Oh, but it did look like she had some sort of feelings that she doesn't have now.
I don't know, she's still an enigma.
So we got married. And as soon as I got out of the service, I brought her to England. You don't really know Christine, how she feels about me. But you will when she gives her evidence.
I must tell you, I am not putting her in the witness box.
But what happened in the meantime? Because she was very willing to testify.
Or that you, on the 14th day of October, in the county of London, murdered Emily Jane French. Are you guilty or not guilty?
And everyone like, oh.
Not guilty.
Oh,
The
this is a
prisoner
jury.
stands indicted.
Oh, they do have women in England,
yeah.
so in England they had women.
Members of the jury, I appear in this case with my learned friend, Mr. Barton, for the prosecution,
That's the
and my
prosecution.
learned friends, Sir Wilfred Robarts and Mr. Brogan Moore, appear for the defense.
It's interesting that he also presents the others.
The others, yeah.
But Sir Wilfred is in the Old Bailey. He's slightly incapacitated, but he'll be in his seat presently.
May I express my regret that Sir Wilfred is even slightly incapacitated?
You may, Mr. Myers. You may also...
I hate, yeah.
You can also...
I hate when people just start to... rambling without just get to the point. We have that in Portugal a lot. I hate it.
On the night of October the 14th last, between 9:30 and 10, Mrs. French was murdered.
Do they have the murder weapon?
Among the witnesses, you will hear police evidence, also the evidence of Mrs. French's housekeeper, Janet Mackenzie, and from the medical and laboratory experts, and the evidence of the murdered woman's solicitor who drew her final will.
240 above 130, you shouldn't be here at all.
I should be in the courtroom. The trial's begun.
In case of sudden pain or shortness of breath, pop one of these nitroglycerin tablets from the black box under your tongue.
That's enough, Doctor.
Yeah, it's enough.
Judge will be asking for a saliva test. Carter, I'd better take that thermos of cocoa with me.
My learned patient is not above substituting brandy for cocoa.
I think it's just
It
water.
is cocoa. So sorry.
Oh.
If you were a woman, Miss Plimsoll, I would strike you and take care of this, Carter.
Of course.
That's
what I thought, yeah. That's why you said, take care of this.
Come along, Carter.
We placed the time of death at between 9:30 and 10 p.m.
Supposedly he arrived before that
Right,
at
yeah.
home. Okay.
Death was instantaneous, caused by one blow from a heavy and blunt instrument.
Yeah, but they don't have the murder weapon. Otherwise, they would say, "What's that instrument?"
Would that indicate to you that the murderer had taken Mrs. French by surprise?
My lord, I must object.
Oh,
you're here.
We have not yet determined whether the assailant was a man or a woman. It could quite conceivably have been the murderess.
Mr. Myers, it seems that Sir Wilfred has joined us just in time to catch you on a point of grammar. Please.
Is it your opinion that the assailant...
I am taken by surprise that my learned friend should attempt to solicit from the witness an opinion and not a fact.
Oh, I love him. Oh.
Yeah, I see that he is not slow in court.
I found the fingerprints of Mrs. French, those of Janet Mackenzie, and some which later proved to be those of Leonard Vaux. Things were strewn about, and the window had been broken near the catch. The glass outside was not consistent with the window having been forced from the outside.
Of course.
What you are saying is that someone attempted to make it look...
It looks that way, yeah.
My learned friend is putting words in the witness's mouth. After all, if he insists on answering his own questions, the presence of the witness would seem superfluous.
Quite. Don't you think so, Mr. Myers?
Yeah, just ask the questions.
According to the housekeeper, nothing was missing. That is the jacket found in the prisoner's flat, which I handed to our lab to test for bloodstains.
And did you find any bloodstains?
Yes, though an attempt had been made to wash them out. It is type O.
And did you subsequently test the blood of the dead woman?
Yes, sir.
Type O?
The same.
Yeah.
Type O.
He does have a lot of things against him.
In your experience, when a burglar breaks in, does he
Do they
usually
leave?
leave fingerprints, or does he wear gloves?
Usually they wear gloves.
I love him. So cool.
Can't we then surmise the burglar might have entered what was presumably an empty house, might have suddenly encountered Mrs. French and struck her, then realizing she was dead, panicked?
It is entirely impossible to guess what went on in the mind of some entirely imaginary burglar.
Let us not surmise, Sir Wilfred, but confine ourselves to facts.
And it's interesting the way that here the judge only does those things if the lawyers tell him to.
Did the prisoner's wife show you a knife and tell you that her husband had cut his wrist while slicing bread?
Yes, sir.
I will ask you to examine this knife, Inspector.
And what type of blood is him?
If the prisoner's blood were also of this
Like
same
I was
group,
saying,
then the
right?
stains on his jacket might very well have resulted from the household accident he described to you.
Yes, sir.
I have here a certificate stating that Leonard Stephen
Oh,
Vaux
it's a
was
blood
a
donor.
blood donor at the North London Hospital, and that his blood is Group O.
Oh.
He's quite good.
So the first very good proof.
Is there anything to show whether it was an accident or done deliberately after the murder?
But it's not facts, it's suppositions.
Yeah, it's like...
You may stand down, Inspector.
yeah, this is just for to
put-
be on the head of the jury, but
Exactly.
still.
I swear by Almighty God.
I'm really interested to see what she has to say.
Yes.
What?
It's the clock.
I moved in with my niece at 19 Glenister Road.
Pills with alcohol. Great.
Quite. What I meant was you were on friendly terms, not altogether those of a mistress and a servant.
Aye. 10 years I was with her and looked after her. She knew me and she trusted me. I got back to the house at 9:25. As I passed the sitting room, I heard the prisoner in there talking to Mrs. French.
No,
At 9:25.
Now, let us be very exact as to the time.
Yeah, about the time.
The pattern was on a shelf in my room next to my clock, so I saw the time. And it was 9:25. I went into the sitting room then to see if the mistress wanted anything before she went to bed. And there she was.
Dead.
Dead.
Yeah, this goes against what he was saying, because at that time he said he was arriving home.
Were you aware that Leonard Vole was a married man?
No, indeed. And neither was the mistress.
What Mrs. French knew or did not know is pure
They will never know.
conjecture on Janet Mackenzie's part.
Have you any facts to support that opinion?
Well, there were the books that she ordered, both of them, about women that married men years younger than themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's relevant at all.
Yeah.
It is possible for a woman to read the life of Disraeli without contemplating marriage with a man
Yeah, it's
younger
like
than herself.
it's nothing.
No, I read about. If I were to read, I would read about criminals, and that doesn't make me a criminal.
You heard Mrs. French and the prisoner discussing her new will?
Yes, he was to have all her money, she told him.
I think that's what makes her so upset.
So, but she's saying that she knows clearly that he helps draw the will, and he knew what was in the will.
In the old will, the will that was revoked, were you not to receive the
Like I was saying, she was jealous.
Oh,
She was not going to get
Whereas in
anything.
the new will, except for a bequest to you of a small annuity, the principal beneficiary is the prisoner Leonard Vole.
It'll be a wicked injustice if he ever touches a penny of that money. He's a shifter, scheming rascal. But I'm not antagonistic to him.
So, good people are laughing.
I never liked him.
Your candor is refreshing.
He's like, good. You're showing exactly what I want jury to see.
I didn't hear what they actually said.
You mean...
So how can you hear the voices?
I know his voice well enough.
The door was closed, was it not?
If you cannot hear what they're saying, most likely you'll not understand who the voice is from.
They're long enough to hear what I heard.
Come, Miss Mackenzie. I'm sure you...
Oh, she can't really hear much. Who else could it be? You see?
You wanted it to be him. That's the way your mind worked. Did Mrs. French sometimes watch television in the evening?
Yes.
They had television back then, yeah.
There was a play called Lover's Leap on the television that night.
And I love the way that he actually does the homework.
He knows that.
Because the television was away being repaired that week. That's why.
Was not expecting that one?
Yeah. Oh, he's getting stressed.
Oh, your heart, careful. I wonder if he's gonna still be alive at the end of the movie.
Did you recently apply to the National Health Insurance for...
Because of hearing.
aid?
For what?
Did you get it?
No.
Clearly not. Clearly. So, the proofs they have now, he has been able to kick them all out.
Police Constable Jeffries. Police Constable.
Yeah, to the dead woman. Oh.
Mr. Myers?
Third day. Not many pills left.
I now call the final witness for the prosecution, Christine Hell.
Witness for the prosecution.
So the prosecution called her.
I knew there was something off about her.
I have the most serious objection to this witness being summoned by the prosecution, as she is the wife of the prisoner Leonard Vole.
My lord, I call my learned friend's attention to the fact that I summon not Mrs. Vole, but Mrs. Helm.
Yeah, she used the engine name, yeah.
The thing is, she was already married. She cannot be married to two people, so...
But I already had a husband. He's still alive.
Christine, that's not true.
You don't know anything. Get down.
My lord, the so-called previous marriage is in fact well documented.
Unlike the second one, because it's just a ceremony, right? Damn.
I don't see any reason why this witness should not be qualified to give evidence.
Did he in fact return at 25
26, that's what they said.
26.
No. He returned at 10 minutes past 10.
Oh.
Christine, what are you saying? It's not true. You know it's not true.
And the guy's like, oh, I need more pills. Or more brandy, or whatever.
Yeah. So now she's saying that he came back way later.
He threw off his coat and examined the sleeves. Then he told me to wash the cuffs. They had blood on them. I said, Leonard, what have you done? He said, I've killed her.
Christine, why are you lying? Why are you saying these things?
It was not a very good witness for him as being his wife in favor, but against.
The worst.
But pray let the witness continue. We are all of us caught up in the suspense of this horror fiction.
Fiction.
To have to hear it in installments might prove unendurable.
Ooh, I love it.
You told them that the prisoner returned at 9:25.
Yes, because Leonard asked me to say that. I said to the police what he wanted me to say because I'm grateful to him. He married me and brought me to this country. I never loved him.
It was gratitude to the prisoner.
That woman, she was a harmless old fool. And he makes of me an accomplice to the murder.
And she's playing the role quite well.
That is the truth.
So far, I would be quite convinced. I would be like,
yeah,
okay, I think it's, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything?
That's why it's always good for the lawyer to know the truth, the real truth, so that he can prepare in case this kind of shit happens.
It is important.
When you first met the prisoner in Hamburg, you lied to him about your marital state.
I wanted to get out of Germany, so...
You lied, did you not? Just yes or no, please.
So you lied before, right? So.
I did not tell the truth to the authorities.
AKA.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you lie now?
And when the police questioned you about this wretched man who believed himself married and loved, you told them.
I told them what Leonard wanted me to say.
So you lied.
And when you said that he had accidentally cut his wrist, again you lied.
Yes.
And now today you've told us a new story entirely. Or are you not in fact a chronic and habitual liar?
Ooh, sassy. Your heart cannot take it.
His witness, by her own admission, has already violated so many oaths that I am surprised the testament did not leap from her hand when she was sworn here today. That will be all, Frau Helm.
Calm down, sit down, take your stuff.
And are you aware, Mrs. Helm, that the penalty in this country for perjury is a heavy term of imprisonment?
Yes, I'm aware.
Do you want to keep your testimony or change?
So help me God.
Then that, my lord, is a case for the prosecution.
She looks very elegant, though.
She's always that posture.
Elegant. And the clothes was an excellent choice of outfits.
Yep.
And now your whole life has been torn apart.
Sir Wilfred, are you ready for the defense?
I'm not sure. The guy looks like he's gonna die at any second.
The prosecution has produced a surprise witness, one Christine Helm. I objected to her testimony because a wife cannot give evidence harmful to her husband. But it has been proven that her marriage to Leonard Vole was fraudulent.
Yeah, it has been proven. I mean, yeah.
Her evidence must be admitted, and you must consider it.
However...
For what it is worth.
The way he puts it, yeah. It's like you should do that, but...
Only one witness can shed new light on this tragic riddle. The prisoner himself.
Nice. Well done, nice. And it's funny because here you cannot have surprise witnesses. It's not allowed. If that happens for some reason, the court needs to give some time.
Yeah, I get it.
For the both lawyers or the one that wants to review and to prepare the defense.
Did you or did you not, on the night of October the 14th last, murder Emily Jane French?
I did not.
Thank you. That will be all.
Oh, that's all you're
That's
doing?
all? It's like, what?
In fact, concluded your examination of the prisoners, Sir
But
Wilfred?
I like it because it's a great strategy.
The most profound mental agony and shock. The defense feels his faculties should be spared for the cross-examination by my learned friend for the prosecution.
It's like, I made the questions I need, so now let's go to the other side.
Did she ever give you any money?
No, not a penny.
Do you expect to receive any?
No, sir.
Did you know that in her new will, you were the beneficiary to the extent of £80,000?
No, I didn't.
Did you wear a trench coat and a brown hat? Was it this coat and hat?
Yes, sir.
My lord, the defense, leaving no stone unturned in its efforts to establish an alibi for the prisoner, circulated this photograph, hoping to bring forth a witness who had seen him leaving Mrs. French's house or entering his own.
And are they gonna find that witness that saw him leaving later?
But at the last moment, a witness has come forward.
Another surprise witness. 1 week before.
On the afternoon of October the 8th, Were you or were you not in a travel agency in Regent Street? And did you or did you not make inquiries about prices and schedules of foreign cruises?
It's not a crime, is it?
Not at all. Many people go on a cruise when they can afford to pay for it.
He has a point.
I get the point.
Yep.
I get the point. But like he said, he likes to watch things of what...
Imagining what he could buy.
You made inquiries about the most expensive and luxurious cruises. How do you expect to pay for such a thing?
He has a point, though. He does have a point.
Yep, it does.
Exchange her will, leaving you the bulk of her money.
It was in the day where supposedly it was changed.
Yeah, such bad timing.
I was in a pub and I met this girl. I don't even remember her name now.
I've been checking that. And price of houses I'll never be able to buy.
So we went in just for fun and I started asking for folders. Well, the man gave me a sort of a funny look because I did look a bit shabby. Well, anyway, it irritated me. So I kept asking for the swankiest tours, all deluxe and cabin on the boat deck, but it was just putting on an act.
An act? You knew that in a week you were going to inherit.
How the hell would he know?
Of course he would. He helped make the will.
Do you know any reason why the witness, Christine Helm, should deliberately give the evidence she has given if it were not true?
No, I don't know why my wife...
Well, it's not your wife, apparently.
She seemed remarkably sane and self-possessed.
Which is so true, though.
What's changed her? Very effective, I'm sure. But in this court, we deal with fact. And the fact, Mr. Vole, is that we have only your word for it.
But somebody must have seen me in the street or going into the house.
One would certainly think so.
But no one came forward.
I cut my wrist.
You cut your wrist deliberately.
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything. But you make it sound as though I did. I can hear it myself. No, I didn't. I didn't do it.
I'm imagining if he didn't, and then you're like desperate, like, what?
Yeah. And you can see that here, it was making affirmations. You killed her and blah, blah, blah. But the lawyer never said anything. Like objection. There was no objections because it was just playing such a great part.
I watched them when Frau Helm was on the stand. They didn't like her.
No, they didn't like her, but they believed her.
Of course.
Yeah.
The only question in my mind is why? What's her game? What is she up to?
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't do that just because, you know.
He's so annoyed that he doesn't understand her.
Why, yeah.
My client's life is at stake. That's all that matters. His life. He's entitled to the best that I can do.
Who is this speaking, please?
Never you mind. Let me talk to him. I've got something to sell him, I have.
Well, really, madam.
And what I've got to sell him, believe me, he'll want to buy. It's got to do with that Leonard Vole.
Leonard Vole?
Oh, is that the brunette?
Well, hello, Ducky.
I'm curious.
I'm at the buffet at Euston Station at the far end of the bar. And I'll be here for just 30 minutes because that's when my train leaves. And bring plenty of money.
How much is plenty of money?
I'm too old and too sick to go on a wild goose chase.
But they are not, and I think someone should.
Where to, Sir Wilfred?
Euston
Let's go.
Station.
That's what I thought. Well done. Because the question would be like staying there in your head for so long.
I know. He's not a person of a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Go back, your massage, your dinner, your injection.
There you go. I can take it.
Love it. I wouldn't mind having people like, oh, you massage, oh, you're hot bath. I'm like, oh no.
You wouldn't be Sir Wilfred, would you?
I would.
Didn't recognize you without your wig.
And your name, please.
No need for names.
You realize, of course, you're in duty bound to come forward to give any evidence you might have in your...
Sure, as long as you pay.
Letters that German wife of his wrote. That's what I've got.
Letters written by Christine Vole to the prisoner.
To the prisoner. Don't make me laugh.
To the...
To her! No. To the dead lady.
These letters get the boy off. Well, it's £100 for me, right?
So I'm prepared to offer you £10.
What?
10?
10 bleeding pounds for letters like these?
£20 would, I think, not be an unreasonable sum for your expenses.
100, 10, 20, 50.
£40.
All right, blast you. I hope they fix her good and proper.
And how the hell did she grab those? Who are those two?
Juicy. I want to know what it is.
What have you got against her?
Ha! I'll give you something to dream about, mister. Want to kiss me, ducky?
Damn.
Christine Vole did that to you.
Not her. The chap I was going with, he was a bit younger than me, but I loved him. And then she come along.
started seeing him on the sly, and then one day...
That's what I thought. She has a scar in her heart, not in her face. That's just a plus.
It must have been after she was with Leonard, of course.
Unbelievable. We'd better have...
Who are they from? Oh, to the men. Okay.
What's her name?
She's long gone. She has a train to catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Care for another, sir? Good idea.
I will briefly summarize these facts.
Yeah, he's entering with new proof. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
I ask that the case for the defense be reopened and that a witness be recalled.
Lord, the course my learned friend proposes is quite unprecedented.
I have anticipated my friend's objection and am prepared to meet it with ample precedent.
Of course.
And lastly, there is the case of the King against Sullivan, in which this issue was raised, which I'm sure your lordship will remember, since your lordship appeared to the prosecution.
Oh, yes, before Mr. Justice Swindon.
Letters written by Christine Helm.
Your lordship's similar rejection in the King against Sullivan was sustained.
Your memory for once serves you ill, Mr. Myers. My objection then was overruled by Mr. Justice Swindon, as yours is now by me.
That was so cool. It's like sometimes I want to be a judge just to do this kind of stuff, you know. And
Mrs. Helm, you appreciate you are still under oath.
it's gonna be so interesting.
Do you know a man named Max?
I don't know what you mean.
It's a simple question. Do you or do
Either you know or you not.
Certainly not.
It's a fairly common name, and yet you mean you've never known a man with the name of Max. October the 20th last.
Ooh.
What have you got there?
After the murder.
Lies. All lies.
You would seem to have been, well, let us say, on intimate terms with this man.
I think she loved him and she wanted to use the money to get away with him. I bet. That's why she killed him, like I said previously. She killed her, sorry.
I believe all our difficulties may be ended.
I will not stand here and listen to a pack of lies.
Of
that
course.
letter's a forgery. It isn't even my letter paper.
How do you know?
I write my letters on small blue paper with my initials on it.
Oh, just like this one.
Just like, yep.
Like this. This happens to be a bill from my tailor for a pair of extremely becoming Bermuda shorts.
Wilfred the Fox. That's what we call him, and that's what he is.
I love him.
Damn you!
Leave her alone.
Oh, and there he is defending her.
Oh,
Let me go! Let me get out of here!
oh, the drama. Now she will faint.
Give the witness a chair.
Oh, you're such a victim. Oh.
Will you now read the letter in question so that the jury may hear it?
Oh, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want to hear this.
My beloved Max, an extraordinary thing has happened.
Which is the same way that he started before, yeah.
Leonard is suspected of murdering the old lady I told you about. His only hope of an alibi depends on me. Suppose I testify that he was not at home with me at the time of the murder.
Ooh.
Shall be free and yours, my beloved.
At least it destroys completely her testimony.
Until we are together, Christine.
I really thought she killed her.
Apparently she was just using
it. That's disappointing.
It was opportunistic. And we still don't know who killed her.
Did you write this letter?
Christine, tell him that you didn't write it.
Before answering, Mrs. Helm, I wish to warn you that the law regarding perjury in this country is very severe.
Like your lawyer said.
Yeah, don't do even more.
I wrote the letter.
The shock.
And that, my lord, is the case for the defense.
But it does not mean that he did not kill.
But she was the only one that could actually prove something.
I know.
You better stop pressing your luck. You're overdue now.
We're all packed and ready, Doctor. I hope the jury won't take all the afternoon.
What's wrong? It's a little too neat, too tidy, and altogether too symmetrical. That's what's wrong with it.
You're not worried about the verdict, are you?
It's not their judgment that worries me. It's mine. Come along.
Again, I think it has room enough for doubt about all of it.
Exactly. I agree with you. There is a lot of room for speculation, but She was the only witnesses they had that could actually prove something. You know?
I know.
So
That I understand. Yes. Yes.
the rest
you're
is
right.
just circumstantial stuff.
Prisoner will stand up.
Do you find the prisoner at the bar, Leonard Stephen Vole, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, my lord.
Well done. I don't think he did it because it wouldn't
No.
make sense.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't really align with him. At the same time, I'm not 100% sure yet. See, he's not exactly celebrating. He still has a lot of...
Leonard Stephen Vole, you have been found not guilty of the murder of Emily Jane French.
So you will have the money.
Thank you for everything. You were wonderful.
Say we were lucky all around.
Yeah, the lawyer is questioning.
An hour ago, he had one foot on the gallows and the other on a banana peel.
Now he has 8 grand.
Disposed of the gallows, but there's still that banana peel somewhere under somebody's foot.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Let me finish the last of the cocoa while I'm
The
still beyond
cocoa.
her jurisdiction.
Yeah, I think he's gonna talk to her.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think so.
Maybe he doesn't really believe the guy didn't do it, you know?
It's the same doubts that I'm having as well. Or maybe that she did it.
I think she did it, to be honest.
You think so?
but-
I apologize for making pictures.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind being called names or pushed around or even kicked in the shin.
Yeah, I was used to it.
You loathe me, don't you? Like the people outside. And how brilliantly you exposed me and saved Leonard's life. The great Sir Wilfred Robarts did it again. You had help. Well, Leonard is free and we did it.
We?
Remember? When I came to see you and you said that no Jew...
She planned all of this to get him free, including the other woman.
That gave me the idea.
Exactly.
The idea that I should be a witness. Not for my husband.
For the
but
prosecution.
For the prosecution, that I should swear Leonard was guilty.
She's very smart.
So now you know the whole story, Sir Wilfred.
Oh my god. she's a genius.
Machiavellian genius, yeah.
Wanna kiss me, ducky?
I suspected something, but not that. Never that.
Thank you for the compliment. It's been a long
Yeah.
time since I was an actress, and I never before played such
Again,
an
yeah.
important role.
And all those blue letters.
Took me hours to write them, to invent Max. There never was a Max. There's never been anyone but Leonard, only Leonard. I could not run that risk. You see, you thought he was innocent.
And you knew he was innocent, I understand.
He's not.
I knew he was guilty. Listen to me once and for all. Leonard came home a few minutes past 10. He did have blood on his sleeves. He did tell me he had killed a woman, only I could save him. He pleaded with me.
And you saved him.
Of course.
I love him.
Of course.
I told you she was an actress. I knew she was going to do something for me, but I just didn't know what or how.
Leonard!
And he's also an actor.
Yes, he played
He's not,
so well.
He's not a naive idiot.
It was you, Vole, who fooled me.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
Feels betrayed.
Of
Which is
course.
so understandable,
Of
but
course.
still.
You can't touch him now. Nobody can.
They can touch her.
When they try you for perjury, there'll be 5,000 pounds for the best offense you can get.
I don't care, Leonard. Just so we'll be together again. What is it, Leonard?
This is a nice young lady I met in the gallery during the trial.
That is the brunette that Steve was talking about. Oh, she's gonna be pissed.
Yes, of course.
I'm not this girl, I'm his girl.
Is this the girl who was with you in the travel bureau?
That's who I am, and I know all about you. You're not his
That
wife.
is such...
We've been going together for months, and we're going away on one of those cruises, just like they said in court. Tell her yourself, Len.
I saved your life getting you out of Germany. You saved mine getting me out of this mess, so we're even. It's all over now.
Don't, Leonard. Don't leave me. Don't, Leonard, don't!
Please, softly. Don't make it worse, or they'll try you as an accessory.
And he's really not a pleasant person at all.
Let them try me for perjury, or an accessory, or...
Murder.
Murder. And all in front of the lawyer. And I love the way that the nurse is not even shocked. It's like, well, the guy just died because he was stabbed. That is just so normal.
No doctor can help now.
What happened?
Well, you missed a lot of stuff here.
She executed him.
I will be her defense lawyer.
Have a new case.
Remarkable woman.
You can just barely catch the boat train, Sir Wilfrid.
Better bring the luggage back, and you can dismiss the case.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, she knows.
It's
I'm
like,
so proud of her.
Thank you, Miss Plimson.
I think we are beginning to understand each other.
We're appearing for the defense in the trial of Christine Vole.
You've forgotten your brandy.
You mean the hot chocolates? Yeah.
You see, they can be such a better team like this. Way better team. Oh, that was so cute.
This could have like a follow-up with the
Yes,
the
please. There is none?
No.
The management of this theater suggests that for the greater entertainment of your friends who have not yet seen the picture, you will not divulge to anyone the secret of the ending of Witness for the Prosecution.
Interesting that they had to put this at the end of the movie.
So cool.
If others want to enjoy,
spoiler.
yeah,
No
basically,
spoiler.
they're just asking, please don't spoil this for everyone else.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Honestly, I don't believe that, being such a lover of courtroom dramas as I am, I had never seen this movie, which is such a shame. I think that everyone should watch it.
Yeah, again, that's the thing. In general, it's an older movie, so we are not as familiar with older movies, obviously. And again, like you said, it's a shame. There are a lot of very interesting movies that we're being discovering, and this is one of them. This was very, very interesting from beginning till the end.
Yeah.
Go ahead, start.
Yeah, so my favorite thing about the movie is the twist. You guys know that it is very hard for me sometimes not to guess the end of the movie or the twists, because I do predict things a lot, let's say. And in this one, there are some things, I was like the lawyer, like...
Doubt,
there is
right?
something here. I'm not sure what, but there's something around in here in the air. And it was very surprising, not exactly what I was expecting at all. So it was very, very nice. I was expecting her to be the one killing the older lady, but because we've always sort of believed the...
I agree, yeah. The guy. The
guy.
At least who he was, what his character is, right? Because I didn't really doubt that, yeah.
So that is why I was telling you, and you said, oh, it can be like that. But yes, that's why during the reaction I did say that it doesn't matter if the client is guilty or innocent. You cannot look with that perspective. As a lawyer, for you to perform your duty, it is irrelevant if the guy is guilty, or whatever, if the client is guilty or innocent, because it can limitate your vision, And then you say, oh yeah, but I mean, you need to know, because otherwise you may not want to represent the client. Sure. I mean, if you know what the subject is about, which you always do, you can decide if you're willing to leave your principles in the back. For example, if it's a case of, I don't know, murder, some people don't want to defend murders or one part or the other. They just don't want to be involved. For rapes
pedophilia.
or pedophilia. Yeah, all of those subjects, they are always very hard for lawyers. Of course, you do have lawyers that they are specialized in a certain area, in a certain field, especially, for example, with drugs and that kind of things, and crime generally. But even the lawyers that have those specifications or specialities, they tend to have some limits. Normally, pedophilia, it's one of those, and rape, normally, it's also one of them. So, again, it is better for you not to ask. If you know what the subject is about, you need to be conscious enough that one of two things can happen. First, the guy is innocent, you believe, and then it proves the other way around, even if you still believe, because sometimes your beliefs, they are not what the proof represents. And what you can use in court, especially in Portugal, which is the legal system I'm used to, of course, what you can use is so little, it's so small, because we cannot have private detectives, we cannot have the thing of talking to witnesses, we cannot talk to them. We can't do shit, to be honest, to prepare our defense. So.
The defense is very, very limited here.
Yeah, even accusation. But accusation, normally it's easier. But for the defense, you need to be working solo and trying to figure out what's connecting the dots. And sometimes it is very, very hard. So you need to be prepared for that. Or also for the fact that the person is guilty and you need to live with it. and then you need to see if you can accept the job, even if the person is guilty. So yeah, that to say that I really, really enjoyed the movie, especially the twist, because it gives a bit of emotion to the movie and very, very good final touch.
Yeah, I would agree that it's just because, again, even if there wasn't such, because it's not just one twist, it's more than one, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's a few, very in quick succession at the end. So I would agree that it is quite unpredictable, because I think we are in the position of the lawyer, just like you said. There's something wrong here, and we cannot know exactly what it is. I also started thinking, like you were saying, about the she killed the woman and all of that. Sure,
the movie takes you to that path, but then the brunette appears, and I'm like, what? Where did she come from? Who is this
I was
girl?
like, oh, this is gonna bring trouble now, because we saw at the end that she was so in love with him. She planned all these things, and the guy was a real scumbag. That's the thing that in the beginning I was like, right when we met the guy, I was like, is this an act? He seemed a bit too aloof, too stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's always like that, so it's like, I mean, that's how he is. I guess. But yeah, at the end it did just show his true colors, so I wasn't exactly sad when he got stabbed.
Oh yeah, of course. I was like,
it's like,
you're gonna
really?
kill him?
No, it's just the way he answered at the end, because she was like, I just did all of this for you. And he's like, oh, sure. No gratitude, no real gratitude there.
Yeah.
So it was so annoying. But I would say that my favorite thing, it's not exactly the twist at the end. I think it's something very simple. For me, it was really the character moments, because you have the court and all of that, but I think it's so well linked with the characters and the way they act, especially the lawyer. Sorry, but I think it was just so entertaining to watch him and the other characters interact, that it made the movie just go by like that. Yeah. So that was the thing that I liked the most. It was very pleasurable to see the whole movies, because again, I like to see the characters interact, and all the court interactions as well was great.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Again, as people that come from a law degree, it is very interesting for us all the time to see these kind of movies, because we're always comparing, even if we don't want to. We always compare to what we have here. And again, Daniel, I don't think you've ever been in court.
No, just simulation.
Simulation, yeah, but I've been in court for quite a few times, and it's so different, like, first, we have a very different type of law. As you guys may know, we live in Portugal, and here we do not have common law, so it's not as dramatized as they make it look. We also don't have a jury for a rule. There is the figure of the jury. It is on our
it's possible
constitution, I say, in our law. However, it is not used, although in very specific cases, which I don't believe it has been used for ages. So that's something we're not used to. Also, the judge here is not as neutral as they are there. Of course, in terms of being partial or not, is neutral, yes, but our judge, they take way more, they have a bigger paper, a bigger role in the...
He's more inquisitive, right?
Yeah.
He can put his nose more into the business at hand. Yeah.
And to be honest, here, how it should be, it's not the normal practice, of course, because we need to speed things up, but what it should be, and some judges, they do want that, but is that the lawyer should make the question to the judge, and the judge would make the question to the witness. That's how standard is. So imagine Daniel was the judge. I'll say, Judge, this is a question I want to make to the witness. If she saw this on that day.
Can I make that question? Yeah.
Normally it's the judge who does, but to speed things up, otherwise you would take like twice the time, of course. The first one we say, oh, Judge, we want, do you mind if I question the witness or you want me to make you the questions and you ask. Normally all judges, they go through the easiest path, of course.
Get on with it.
Just
ask
get
the
it
questions.
done. But I've been in a trial as well where the judge even said, well, from now on you ask me, because I mean, you're getting too unsensitive with the witness.
Too hostile.
Too hostile. So you're gonna make me the questions, and I will see if the person, if the witness will answer those or not, if they are relevant or not, and that's it. And if the lawyer makes a question and the judge doesn't really think it should be answered for some reason, the judge will say, well, I don't think that's relevant, or I think the question already answered that. So the judge here in Portugal with our law is way more involved, and he has a bit more of power, and he can have also do like some questions that we normally don't see in movies. Our judges can also make some requests for police or etc. regarding some evidence, which is something we normally don't see in movies.
True.
So exactly. Just for you guys to have an idea of how it works here. If you have specific questions, just leave in the comments. We always happy to clarify if we can, of course. This is our personal experience. Of course, that it can change one thing or the other according to the type of court and person or the judge we're talking about, but yeah. And also, one thing that I find so amusing always is the wigs. I think it's just so adorable. I'm not sure if they still use that nowadays in the UK. I do think so.
They might, yeah.
I think so.
Not sure as well, yeah.
And one thing that I really would like to know, if you guys have any idea, is what were behind the lawyers. There was like 3, 4, 6, 10 other people, men and female, with the wigs as well, dressed as lawyers or with that uniform, let's say, but they were not lawyers. So
could it be
I wonder what they are. Students or so.
Students,
I'm not
like
sure because
learning.
They wouldn't have the uniform, at least in Portugal.
I'm not sure, yeah.
You do not have like the uniform if you're not a lawyer or prosecutor or like someone involved in the process like that. You do not wear the uniform, because we also have like a uniform that we wear.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, if you guys know any information about who those people were, because yeah, they cannot all be lawyers there. I mean,
no.
Yeah,
I'm very, very curious to know, honestly.
But yeah, my initial idea was like, oh, it's other lawyers or students, just like in the old days when they had like surgeries and everything, then they had the other doctors watching, something of that sort. But I don't know.
I don't think so, because they did mention like, oh, in the front row we have the lawyer 1, lawyer 2. I don't think so. Anyways, I think that's it. I really enjoyed the acting. It was so cool. I really enjoyed the fact that it was black and white. We've been leading to appreciate way more this kind of movies, because
kind of
it's something we're not very used to. We are getting used now. And I think it's always a blessing, because cinema was so different back then. Everything was so different, and I really enjoy going back in time sometimes and watching these kind of movies.
I'm really enjoying discovering such different movies, let's say.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. We really appreciate you guys voting on this one first to watch. As you guys know, there was a tie between this and another movie, which we will also record.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And it will come very, very soon to YouTube as well. But before, of course, it will go to Patreon. So you already know, if you want to vote for free, check it out. Join us for free. Or you can see the full lengths and much more on a daily basis on Patreon as well. The link is below. Subscribe the channel, all of those things, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.